I was just watching this video where there was a group of rich guys and a group of poor guys, and they were brought in kind of debate, mindset issues and poverty and wealth inequality, and why some people become rich, some people become poor, and I just get so annoyed whenever I hear the idea that it's unfair that the top 1% get all the money and everybody else doesn't, right? That so many people are so few people are millionaires and everybody else is poor, and that kind of talk is just complete bullshit. It's completely, yes, the statistics are correct. That's all based on math. But then the people who use that as an excuse to say that I can't make it in this world, I can't make it because it's so difficult, it's so fucking hard, all the wealthy people, all the rich have all the wealth and everybody else is just a worker, and I can't make it. I can't make it because of my skin color, I can't make it because of my immigration status, I can't make it because I was born too poor, or I was born with a disability. Like, there is so many bullshit excuses about why people say that they can't fucking make it. And let's just talk about purely from the math perspective, okay? The statistics, right? When you talk about that, there's a small fraction of people who are at the top who are millionaires, right? So in the United States, it says I read recently that 6 million people are millionaires. They have a net worth of 6 million people in the United States make $1 million or more per year. And that's probably very true, if that's what the statistics says. But why are those people there? And it just comes down to when you study in statistics, the bell curve. Now, many of you may remember this in math class, but the bell curve is a distribution of income. Let's just say the bell curve is as a distribution of income. And so the majority of people are in the middle of that curve. The majority of people make somewhere whatever is considered a normal income within that range. So maybe $50,000 to $150,000 per year. That's the majority of people. And then below that are people who make less than $50,000 a year, and on the other end of the extreme are people who make way more than $150,000 a year. And I'm not quite sure what the math is, what that middle number is. It could be $80,000, it could be $100,000, but there's some number that's in the middle. So very wealthy people and millionaires are on the other end of the extreme, and very poor people are on the other end of the extreme. And there are bell curves about all kinds of other things. There's bell curves about the distribution of intelligence, for example. And that's a really big part of why people are wealthy or are not, is that bell curve of intelligence. So in the middle, you have an IQ of 100. So the majority of people are within one standard deviation of 100. So people have IQs of about 90 to 110. That's within the majority of people. Then there are people who have IQs below 90, and they go to that end. And then other people have IQs that are above 110. But the point being is that if the average IQ in the middle is 100, it means that 50% of the American population, 50% of adults, 50% of working class people have IQs that are below 100. If you think about that, that explains a lot about politics, that explains a lot about crime, that explains a lot about poverty. Why there are so many people who they can't take care of themselves, they can't manage money effectively, they can't freaking count. They have IQs that are below 100, for fuck's sake. That's not a really good thing. It's actually really bad. I think that severe mental issues are starting at around IQs of like 85, 87. And there are millions and millions and millions of Americans who are at that level and below. So if you wonder why are they not millionaires, it's not because of capitalism or because the rich are hoarding all the wealth. It's because you got people who they can't even, count to 10 on their fingers because they are so far below the average IQ of 100. But just because you are smart doesn't mean that you're going to be wealthy either. There's plenty of people, I have friends of mine who are extremely smart and they are not very wealthy. I have friends of mine who are computer programmers who are extremely smart. They know how to code. They were taking AP statistics classes and calculus classes in high school, like extremely high on the bell curve of intelligence, extremely smart. But they're not millionaires or multimillionaires or billionaires. They own businesses. Right? Elon Musk, of course, is an example of somebody who's extremely on the high end of intelligence and also extremely wealthy for, what he knows. Extremely smart guy. But there are plenty of people who are a lot dumber, who are a lot, maybe you wouldn't say as much of an intellectual, right? They're not some kind of mathematical genius, who are extremely wealthy and very successful on their own, which is kind of the beauty of capitalism and the society that we live in, that anybody can become wealthy. And I'm talking about, like, there's YouTubers, right, who you've seen, they do that, mukbanging, right, where they eat as much food as possible. They'll go and buy like 100 cheeseburgers and they eat them all, and they look like complete fucking pigs. Like, it's the grossest thing I've ever seen. And they're sitting there just freaking eating as much food as they can. And those people, millionaires, right? They have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, and people just love watching them freaking make a clown out of themselves and eat like crazy. Those people don't have a very high IQ. They're not that intelligent. They're probably actually, the further they are on the left side, okay, of that curve, the closer they are to that 80 level IQ or below, probably the more successful they are in that arena. Right? So you don't have to be extremely intelligent to be successful. And that's where it comes to you. This is where I want to talk with you about how, if you are somebody who believes that it's bullshit, that, I can't become rich because I'm not smart enough. I can't become rich because I was born poor. Look, I was born poor too, and I've become very wealthy and very successful because I work hard. I am not the smartest person. I'm not the most intellectual. I think I did okay in math classes. Like, I love statistics, okay, but I never took advanced calculus or anything like that. Didn't really understand it. Wasn't drawn to physics and engineering and that kind of stuff, right? I know how to code well enough to be a functional coder, but I'm not like an artist. I don't love coding and math and computer science. Like, I had to work to learn this stuff. It didn't come naturally to me. I'm not that kind of person. But I'm far wealthier, far more successful financially than the majority of Americans. And why? It's because I worked at it. If you work at it, if you work at anything, you can become successful and wealthy as well. And so let me just give you some tactical advice. The number one thing is to identify what do you want to do and where do you want to go. Right? You can't follow a map to get to a destination if you don't even know what the destination is. So if you know your destination is, I want to be rich, and it's over here, you want to be rich, well, you can't just drive straight to rich. You have to figure out, what does it take to get there? What does it take to get rich? So, okay, rich means you want to have $1 million in the bank account. Okay, so what kind of jobs, what kind of opportunities can you create to make the income to earn that $1 million, right? And you can either, go to law school, right? Go to law school, become a lawyer, make $200,000-$300,000 a year coming out of school. Well, let's just say $150,000 a year would be your first job out of law school. You make $150,000 a year, you do that for 2 years, you get promoted, you're making $200,000 a year after year 2, and then you kind of work your way up, right? By year 5, let's say you're making, let's just say $350,000 a year. The point is that if you want to have $1 million in your bank, you can go to law school, graduate, work as a lawyer for 5 to 6 years. If you save your money, you pay down your loans, you live below your means, you probably will have $1 million amassed in your bank. There's a blueprint right there for $1 million. How to become a millionaire, how to get $1 million. Very simple. Or if you're like, I don't want to go to law school, I'm not smart enough for law school, I don't feel like studying, all that stuff, fine, fuck it. Go sell stuff. Go find a product on Alibaba.com, fucking toothbrushes, toilet brushes, plates. Maybe if you're passionate about something, some kind of like anime figurines, or I don't know, if you like G.I. Joe dolls, the figures or something, 12-inch action figures, go find cheap 12-inch action figures, buy them on Alibaba, bring them into the US, sell them on eBay, or sell them on Facebook Marketplace. You sell, you buy, I don't know, 1,000 of those dolls, you sell them for $1,000 a piece, you're gonna get $1 million. So, if you can do that, just do that. Figure out what it is that you can do. And actually, I had no idea if that math was right. Let's find out. See, let's just test my math skills. 1,000 times 1,000. There you go, $1 million. Okay, see, good math on the fly. But I'm still not that smart. So, point being is that you can do it. You can make $1 million. You can become whatever it is that you want. If you want to be wealthy, if you want to have $1 million, whatever. Don't look at yourself as a victim and treat yourself as a fucking victim, because you're never going to get the fuck out of it. I could have been that way. I could have been some fucking Marxist, Antifa, fucking flag waving asshole out there, spray painting slogans on sides of buildings and be like, yeah, the system's unfair. It's so fucking hard. Well, fuck that. Fucking go do something. Go make something of yourself. You can either waste your time on fucking online forums, fucking complaining about how the system is unfair and how you guys gotta rise up, or you can fucking invest your time doing something useful. If you're fucking wasting your time drinking, doing alcohol, fucking playing video games, that kind of stuff, well, then that's what you're choosing to spend your time on. And then when you're bitching, complaining, you're not rich and you're not getting any money, well, you know whose fucking fault that is. So fucking fix it. It's possible. You can do it. If I did it, you can do it.